My fiancé always told me the most heartbreaking stories about his ex-girlfriend who died in a tragic car accident. But while I was planning our wedding, I discovered the awful truth. She never even existed. My fiancé, let's call him Mark, is the kind of guy everyone loves. He's charming, funny, and has this incredible way of making you feel like you're the only person in the room. When we first met, I was drawn to his charisma, but what really sealed the deal for me was his vulnerability. About 6 months into our relationship, he opened up to me one night. With tears in his eyes, he told me about Alara. Alara, he explained, was his college sweetheart. They were inseparable, the kind of couple that made plans for the future, picked out baby names, and promised each other forever. He painted such a vivid picture of her. She was a talented artist who loved sunflowers and had a laugh that could brighten up the darkest day. Then, his voice cracked as he told me how it all ended. They were driving to a fancy dinner for their 3rd anniversary when a drunk driver ran a red light. Mark woke up in the hospital with a broken arm and a concussion. Alara was gone. Hearing him tell this story, I just fell apart for him. I held him as he cried, and I felt this overwhelming sense of connection. Here was this wonderful man who had endured the worst kind of pain, and he was choosing to share that pain with me. It made me feel special. It made me feel like our bond was deeper than anything I'd ever known. From that day on, Alara was a quiet, sad presence in our relationship. On the anniversary of her death, Mark would get quiet and somber. We'd stay in, watch her favorite movie, which he said was Good Will Hunting, and I'd just hold his hand, telling him how strong he was. Sometimes, when we'd pass a field of sunflowers, he'd get a distant, sad look in his eyes and say, Alara would have loved this. I didn't mind. In my mind, I was helping him heal. I was the woman who was finally mending his shattered heart. I loved him for his past, for his scars, for the depth of emotion I thought he had. A year later, he proposed. It was perfect, romantic, and I said yes without a second of hesitation. We jumped straight into wedding planning. We had the venue, the caterer, and my dress was picked out. Everything was a fairy tale. And then, I had an idea. An idea that at the time felt so pure and thoughtful, but would end up destroying everything.